Turn the volume down on here. Okay. It says we're live.
Hello, Internet
Hello.
Land.
There we go. All right. And it looks like we are actually live. So there we go.
We're technically experienced crew here, folks.
Right, exactly. Yeah, there was a little bit of a delay as I clicked the live button and then we went actual live. So hello everybody watching. Appreciate y'all being here today. And appreciate you all enjoying supporting our Kickstarter. That's pretty amazing.
Happy to be here, and hope everyone is having a good. If you're in the U.S., hope you're having a good holiday, and if you're not, I hope you're having a good day also.
Yep. All right, and so far it's working. You know, we have 2 backers, and we're already at $50. So on our way to our $4.7 million goal, $4.8 million goal.
He didn't clear that one with me before posting the Kickstarter, folks. He's a loose cannon.
So for those of you who haven't read the full Kickstarter page yet, our biggest stretch goal, and this is our biggest stretch goal ever, is $4.8 million to buy a castle in the UK that is for sale. Now the good news is, if you are a backer, you get 2 free days to stay at that castle, either consecutive or non-consecutive, but you get to come in and stay. So if we hit that stretch goal, we buy that, we make that the new Green Archer World headquarters, you can come join us.
I'm not gonna lie, like that would be kind of awesome. So
you get more than 2 days.
Well, yeah, you're gonna chain me in the basement to keep typing scripts and editing scripts all day. That's why I get more than 2 days.
That's correct. I mean, given that you and given all the European travel you and Holly have been doing, you know, that'll be your new base station. So
for real, you're a monster. Yeah. But no, I listen, I'm not gonna lie, like after we went to Scotland, I started like looking at I was like, well, how much does like a nice remote place in Scotland cost? And then I stopped looking like immediately after that.
So how much does a nice remote place in Scotland cost? I am curious.
It's a little hard to tell because they have a strange symbol in front of their money, and I was trying to convert that from imperial units to freedom units, and it was, you know, but it was a lot. Let's just say it was a lot, and that doesn't count all of like the secret renovations I would do, you know, the archery range, and all that stuff. So
well, and that's why I just want to straight up buy a castle, is because then, you know, this particular one has an open court in the middle, so it already has an archery range built into it.
Okay.
What more could you want out of life if you know, than that initial archery range?
Yeah. So it's funny because I was looking at this bug bit me after I saw the Equalizer 3. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah.
With so the where he goes into the vineyard that's secretly like a drug compound. It has that nice squared courtyard place and just the one entrance and all that stuff. I was like, that'd be kind of fun, honestly. Have a nice little compound, like the minus the drugs and the wine. Like I'm not into that, but you know, just so I was like, I kind of like that idea, but I'm not really built for that kind of life.
Yeah, so I am you know, as you know, I do love wine, but the idea of owning a vineyard is incredibly scary because I don't like the fact that so much of my business is completely dependent on Mother Nature not screwing me over.
Oh yeah.
And so, you know, you hear all the horror stories, like when you talk to, you know, I have a few friends that own wineries, and they're like, yeah, the frost came at the worst possible time, or, you know, we had a rainy September and that destroyed our crop, and so on. And it's like,
yeah,
there's already enough vagaries in what I do trying to make comic books. I don't need even more weirdness going on, in the world. So
Yeah, like two uncertain hobbies. No, you got to have some stability somewhere.
right,
Oh, let's see here.
yeah.
Sorry, I am
So
also trying to back the thing at the same time. So, and I was like,
oh,
oh, my Mac doesn't have my password for Kickstarter saved. So,
speaking of which, while you're figuring out backing, have you seen the new Bruce designed shirts yet?
yes, I did see those. They looked really neat.
Yeah, he did a nice job, and I like the simpler design. So, for when we go to cons, for those of you who don't work for Green Archer Comics and are watching, um, and work, I use that term loosely since there's no pay involved.
Chicken tenders count as pay.
Right, right. That is, I found that is sort of the universal payment for comics creators. I was watching another creator that had just gone to a Comic Con and was talking about whether or not they could afford chicken nuggets. So I think we've hit on sort of the universal payment for comics creators. But the shirts that we have right now were made when we first got started, and the front design is nice, but yeah, exactly. But the back that has all of the lettering on is a little bit much, and I wanted to streamline that design a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think Bruce did a really nice job of picking out something fun for the design that will stand out a bit. A lot of yellow, but still looks overall really nice.
Yeah.
So
We can have a cathartic moment where we take the old shirts out, put them on archery targets, and fill them full of holes.
hopefully you didn't hate them that much, but
No. They're great, and obviously they are my favorite. They're my favorite. They have my favorite T-shirt, the free kind.
right,
So it's
right.
um,
So, I mean, especially given all the travel stuff Holly does, are you kind of like me where I'm drowning in cybersecurity t-shirts? Well, more specifically, Chris is drowning in them. Does she get a lot of those kind of promo t-shirts and stuff?
She does not actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it doesn't really work that way for her.
Okay.
It's the swag she gets is occasionally discounted or free rooms or
Got
things like that. So it's not like they're like she'll get some stuff, I guess, but she doesn't go to a lot of travel conferences.
okay.
Just because they're honestly they're full of competition, so
Sure.
it's a little bit like she's been to one or two. Actually, I got to go with her on one, and it was funny to see. I was just walking around just seeing all the travel agents and stuff, and I was like, wow, this is like, so it was like two extremes. It was like they either got like gussied up and did up, and they're like going to this conference very fancy, and they're doing the Instagram social stuff, or they kind of just like slunk in at the far end of the room, and we're just trying to keep a low profile.
So the when I was in Vegas a few weeks ago for Black Hat and DEF CON, the hotel I was staying at was also the place where all of the people going to the Sephora conference were. So
Hmm.
apparently there was a Sephora conference going on at the same time,
Oh
and you
wow.
could tell who was going to the Sephora conference versus who was going to Black Hat and DEF CON, which, for those of you who don't know, is a huge cybersecurity conference. There was a noticeable difference. Because the Sephora people were all in pink, and then yes, they were gussied up to the nines to attend a con, and I'm like, good on you, man. That is an impressive amount of work to get ready to go listen to talks and everything about Sephora. But you know what, good for them for being willing to do it.
Yeah, it's yeah, that's I guess there's a professionalism aspect also involved, like in terms of like how well you present yourself at a conference and whatnot. I don't go to conferences generally as a professional, so I go as a fan, so I can be, you know, as casual as I like,
Right. Well, and
except when I'm
when
going with you.
well, but even when you're going to, even when you're going to even when you're going to a
Like a fan con.
yeah, even if you're tabling at a fan con, nobody expects you to look really good. I guess if you are one of the guest artists or guest stars, that's a little bit different. But nobody's expecting a somebody at a Comic Con table to look really, really good. So,
Although,
although
yeah,
I will say that, when you go to the artist alley, that generally the people who like sell the little stickers and prints and all those, they tend to dress up really nicely. So and good for them for doing that. I guess nobody expects the same from comic creators. We have a low bar to hit.
I've seen some like author cons where some authors will try to move toward a little bit dressier style. So they'll
Mhm.
go toward like button downs or at least polos and things like that. And I guess it kind of helps. So like to stay in professional mode.
Right.
I always tell people one of the best lessons I ever learned from Catholic school was how to get dressed up in clothes I don't like and go sit somewhere for 8 hours. And like you can just just like once I was able to get rid of the tie, like I was like, okay, I can do everything else. I can arrange my clothes so that I'm comfortable enough in dress clothes.
Right, right. Yeah, that no, I guess that's fair. And that is interesting. Like the two guys across from us at Pulp Fest that were
Yeah.
in tuxedos. Well, one was in
That
tuxedos. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I mean, that was a shtick, right? That was
Right.
their. This is definitely Indiana Jones adjacent. So, which more power to them.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. I mean, they did it, so that's impressive enough to me. It would be nice. Like I keep seeing these author cons that are there seem to be a bunch of them local to us in the DC area. I really want to go to one. I mean, I don't need more books, but I want more books. Um, I think the problem is that the so much of those author cons are like fantasy, and I don't read a lot of fantasy.
Yeah.
So
Well, and it's a lot of spec fic, right? So you get fantasy, sci-fi, horror, all those genres mixed in, or you romance also will be a big convention. So I mean, but you
very
do write
true.
fantasy. You do write fantasy. I mean, you write fantasy. So like because the Green
That's true.
Archer's got fantastical spec fic elements in it. So
And that actually was a whole email discussion I had with Ben and Angeli about our book, whether or not it qualifies as fantasy. And I think the answer you came back with was yes.
yeah, I think so.
Cool. I guess
Yeah,
we should talk about this, shouldn't we?
I guess we could. Yeah,
First of all, it looks like we are a project we love. So good on us for being a project we love. We haven't had that since our first Johnny Dollar. I haven't gotten the notice from Kickstarter that we're a project that we love yet. So it's nice to see that tag there because we did put an awful lot of work into this book, and not that that should matter. Like, it doesn't matter how much we put into it if nobody likes it.
right,
But we definitely put a lot into it, so it's nice to see that little bit of appreciation from Kickstarter. And I mean, so far we're at $754 out of a $3,200 goal, so that's not too shabby.
right.
So
Good start, strong start. Let's keep it up.
that's right. So what was your experience? What's been your experience so far working on the comic?
So let's see here. Well, let's see, a little behind the scenes stuff. So the way this came about when Alan wanted to do when you wanted to do it, I guess we'll talk to each other rather than necessarily at the audience. But you came up with the core idea of the story for the one I worked on, which is a little bit of a spoiler here. It involved a little bit of mad science, a little bit of modern tech, fast forwarded and gone awry. And then you left me unsupervised for several months, and that's not true. We were doing plot points and rehashes, and then we had come up with a rough outline, and then I made a few modifications that really worked. And like the hardest thing for me was, again, I've never done a full length comic script before, so it was very. Thank you, MC. It was a very interesting process for getting that to the finish line, because there were a couple of places where we coordinated with each other on our stories, and there were elements in your story and Anjali's story that were very similar to mine, and so we wanted to kind of mix it up a little bit. So there was some rewriting that happened, and then once I finally got the script done, I think I was the last one. I think I was the fat kid in gym class, and got it over. Just going back and forth with Mark was really, really good, and it's a humbling experience to do that, honestly, because you have an idea in your head, but the artist also has an idea in their head, and so you have to kind of go back and forth with that and give a little bit and take a little bit, and get the two into alignment, so to speak. So I remember there was one panel when I was going through, I was like, yes, that is exactly how I pictured it in my head. So I was like, okay, we're on the right track, we're doing it, we're going. It was a small, simple panel, but it's like one of those things, like when you're learning to draw, and you draw a line that comes out exactly as you want, and you're like, oh, I like that feeling, I want that to happen all the time. So we'll see how the lettering goes. I'm sure it'll be fine. Dan is a complete pro, so he's really good at getting everything to fit in and seeing where there are troubles and offering suggestions. So I love this collaborative process, and some of it is the lazy tail end Gen Xer in me, because I get to outsource some of the work to the artists. So, and there's also a perfectionist element that having a deadline like this, learning to get it in, get it to the point where it is good. I want it to be great, but at some point, I would George Lucas with it all day long. I would just keep tinkering. I was thinking about it last night on the drive home from the beach. I was like, oh man, should I have done this instead? And I'm like, no, stop. It is done. We only correct typos in the lettering phase.
Right.
So yeah, there was a lot of back and forth and a lot of, I wouldn't say agonizing over it, but there was a lot of walking and thinking and things like that.
So is there a desire then, because now this is, this is the third or fourth script that you've collaborated on. Do you have that desire to want to go back and change things and fix things in the stuff you've written?
I mean, that desire always exists, so I can't it's hard to separate out. So
Sure.
as much grief as I give George Lucas for specializing the original trilogy, I now understand, George. I'm sorry. Okay. But some of those changes were in fact bad. But I don't know. There's if you can implement the lessons somewhere else rather than going back and changing a thing, then I would do that. Plus, it feels a little bit like, oh yeah, here's the enhanced edition where we fixed a bunch of stuff. It's like, well, why didn't you do it right the first time? I'm not giving you more money. We want to keep getting better as we do this, but also provide new things, not just new versions of old things. We don't want to remaster all of the old things that came before. That being said, there is one error I made in the original Green Archer short. Oh my God, I just said the forbidden name on camera. Yeah.
So remember, Yeah, we talked about this in the book, and I don't know if that is coming
Yeah.
through. There we go. In the book, there are two chapters, not one, but two chapters that are labeled the Green Arrow. So you're good
Okay,
because
good.
we've got all kinds of legal cover because it's not just that we had that first. He actually has chapters called the Green Arrow. So
Yeah.
so use the term all you want. You're safe.
Yeah. So I had messed up a name in the original script for the refuge short in Green Archer #0. So I made Alan and our letterer go back and correct it. I'm like, listen.
And Dan was very, very happy to do that.
Yes.
So, one of the things that we actually did for this one, which we didn't do in the original set of shorts, is we actually came up with a lore for our Green Archer. So,
Mhm.
for those of you who don't know, in the original book, again, which you can pick up a copy of on our Kickstarter, it is an add-on, both digital and print versions. The print versions are actually being printed up now. The digital versions I'll have to do some editing on so that they're ready, but we'll have that done by the end of the campaign. Uh, all we know is that the Green Archer died in 1487, and that the ghost of the Green Archer was last seen in like 1899, so about 25 years before or 20 some years before the book started, or takes place. And in the book, spoilers for a 102-year-old novel, the Green Archer is actually there are actually a couple of different Green Archers, but it's Scooby-Doo, right? It's people dressed up in Green Archer outfits trying to haunt the castle.
Man,
Scooby-Doo does not make an appearance. I want to be clear on that. There's no Scooby-Doo crossover, although hopefully we'll get famous enough that that they'll do a Scooby-Doo comics crossover with us. They've done it with the Green Hornet, they've done it with the Green Arrow, with the Green Lantern, with Superman, with Batman. They should do it with us as well. But there's really no lore. It's like dude was hung and then the ghost or whatever stuck around, and we wanted to create our own lore. So, and we didn't do that for the first one. So the stories, well, that I think they flow really well. They come from like three very different places.
yes.
And so we were just fortunate that they all kind of hung together. But now we actually have established lore for the character, which means we can do more of these stories going forward if this is successful.
When this is successful, because
When this is
everyone loves the
successful.
Green Archer.
Right, exactly. Yes, MC, that is 100% part of that. We are gonna, do a Green Archer where he just shoots all of the extraneous characters that we all hate from all the different things. We'll line up Scrappy Doo, Jar Jar Binks, Cousin Oliver. I don't know who else, Ben.
That, let's see here. Well, Poochie from The Simpsons was taken out, so that one's done. Man, I'm trying to think. Oh, that little kid they added in Married with Children toward the end. Let's
Did they
see
add a
here.
little kid in Married with
They
Children? Really?
did. They did. I think it was Seven. They called them Seven. I'm not. I want to say, but it's been a while since I've seen that. So, yeah. I'm trying to think. I think you got all the big ones. Honestly, you came in, stole all the thunder, like usual. You get to be the smart, handsome one. I'm just here, following around Scrappy Doo with the dog scooper. You know,
Yeah.
I actually had a thought about that, the different disjointed stories in the Green Archer #0, and I have a plan for that for one of the future projects.
Oh, what is that?
Well, can we talk about the future projects? I don't want to
Yeah.
spill any beans.
No, absolutely. Talk away, man.
Okay, so there's going to be a minor spoiler for Cryptid Hacker Force in this in this live stream. So if you
Scripted
haven't,
Hacker Force is next September. So September
right, so I got
2026
a
is when the
year to figure
Kickstarter
this
goes.
out. Got a year to figure this out. It's great.
Right.
No, but we can, since we connected the original Cryptid Hacker Force issue, which you can buy at Green Archer Comics, um, with my Green Archer from the Viridian Vengeance story,
Mhm.
we can we can retcon in the mystic origin to him, and I have a way to do it.
Okay. Nice. I
Yeah,
can't wait to hear what that is.
yeah,
So for those of you who don't know, part of our agreement with part of my agreement with Ben in order to get him to help write the stories and write the news stories is that if we sell 1,000 copies of the first Green Archer comic, we will go and do a writing session in Edinburgh together with us and our wives. Because if we just went solo, we'd both be divorced by the end of the weekend. uh, so we are about 850 copies away from getting there. But with Baltimore Comic Con still coming up and Ocean City Comic Con coming up, we may have a chance of hitting that number before the end of the year. That being said, the fact that we've sold 150 copies of the Cryptid Hacker Force so far this year,
yeah,
which was not a Kickstarter, was not a was not a Kickstarter, was just something we did on a whim, is actually kind of impressive. So the sales have been really good for it. It's one of those ones because for a lot of what we do at these cons, like the stuff that we do, a lot of people don't recognize. The running joke is that we sell not to the cosplayers, but to the cosplayers' dads. And the Cryptid Hacker Force is the one where people see the banner behind us and go, "Ooh, is that Bigfoot?" And then that kind of leads the conversation. So it's not us having to be there. Hey, can I tell you about my comic? It's which we have a sign for now. It's people coming up and asking us about our comics, which is kind of a nice feeling. So
yeah. That is a lot of fun to see that happen. And really, 150. I was like, wow, that's impressive.
yeah. I mean, it still hasn't it still hasn't fully paid for itself yet, but
Well,
we're
let's
getting there.
well, that's a magical bar to clear.
Right. Right,
But
but yeah, no, we I had to do a second print run of the Sarah Meyer cover, and we're almost sold out of the Kieran Squire one. So we're actually, we're actually doing pretty good.
yeah, that's fantastic. I'm glad to hear that. That was a lot of fun to work on. And I mean, they're all fun to work on, but we got to let our inner 15-year-old out on that, and it was so much fun.
Yeah, no, 100%. And that and that's part of what you want to do when you are when you're when you're writing comics, is you want to be able to kind of let the weird you out sometimes,
Yep.
or
Yeah.
at least I do.
Oh
So
no, definitely. There's definitely. I mean, there's stuff in there that sometimes there are jokes in comics just for us, and sometimes they make them into the final draft.
right.
There's one in my Green Archer story in the omnibus here that is a nod to Cryptid Hacker Force.
Oh,
So in
are you going to share that joke, or are you going to
no,
make
no, they
people buy
gotta
it?
pay for the jokes.
There you go.
You
That's
can't just
fair.
give away the jokes, Alan. Like we'll produce some jokes for free, but if you want the comic jokes, you got to go in. So if you're a fan of Cryptid Hacker Force, there's a little hat tip in my story for you. So
Very nice. Very, very nice. All right. So I don't want to keep you on too long this morning, but I'm a little worried about ending with 13 backers. That doesn't feel lucky.
that doesn't
Um,
feel lucky. We need lucky number 4, the super lucky number 14 to come in and break the
right.
streak.
Right. Exactly. Otherwise, who knows what'll happen. So I'm going to send out a quick message to let people know that they need to um, that they need to back us so that we don't end on 13 backers.
Yeah,
Hold on one
don't end the
second.
stream on 14 backers. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, right. We'll end the stream on 14 backers.
What do you what's the next project in the pipe for us?
We are going to we're doing a Johnny Dollar Christmas story.
Okay.
That is not going to be something that we kickstart. It's just going to be at the end of the year. We'll throw it out there. But then in January, the next Kickstarter is hold on.
Yep, no problem. We talked about that Johnny Dollar Christmas special at Pulp Fest, which, by the way, if you like the Green Archer and you like old pulps, fantastic little con to go to out in Western PA. It is amazing.
And we got our 14th backer, so that
sweet.
But yeah, so you know, this is really obscure baseball here, or inside baseball. But Now Comics did a Johnny Dollar or did a Green Hornet run a while back.
Okay.
And one of the chief villains in that Green Hornet one was a bad guy named Johnny Dollar. And that I took that personally, making my Johnny Dollar a villain, even though this was done in the 90s, way before I had a comic book company. So, but I read that and I'm like, no. So what I'm doing is the bad guy in the Christmas special call themselves the Green Hornets, and it's actually based on a real life cyber criminal group that don't call themselves Green Hornets, but that's what we're going to call themselves. And what this group does is they do live streams, and they've got a wheel of hacking behind them, and it's like they pick an industry and they're like, all right, Hornets into action, and the guy that does it dresses up like Kato, and so we can do all of this because we're not specifically calling out the Green Hornet. We're just bad guys who've adopted that persona. And so Johnny Dollar's got to take down the Green Hornets before they destroy Christmas. So, like, the setup is basically the wheel of hacking has come up on retail. It's November. They're going to take down all these retail operations ahead of Christmas and ruin Christmas for everybody unless Johnny Dollar can stop them. But the nice thing is, so this is based on a couple of real hacking groups, Scattered Spider and Shiny Hunters, which are US and UK based groups. And that means that it's more realistic for Johnny Dollar to come and find these guys and punch them. Now they tend to be teenagers in real life. So he may have some qualms about punching a teenager, but maybe not, because I don't have any qualms about punching teenagers.
I feel like we can utilize some family lore here, and like decorative candy cane used as a blunt instrument at some point during the comic.
Yes, 100%. There are definitely some cool things we can do without bordering into the absurd. So
Right.
I like to keep it fun and serious.
But Johnny Dollar is very grounded, yes.
Right, but the Christmas specials were always a little less grounded, and so we have a little more room to play with. But we'll definitely keep it serious, and the investigation serious and so on. But there are some fun things that we can do there that we'll do. And then in January, the Kickstarter for the Press Guardian, the final Press Guardian, is going to launch.
Nice.
What I'm going to do, and everybody tells me this is a bad idea, but I'm going to do it anyway, because that is our specialty, is doing bad ideas.
Yep. Brute force comic books.
Right. The with the fourth issue with the Kickstarter, we're also going to do the graphic novel. So rather than so if you've bought all three issues, you love the character, we're going to do just the fourth issue for you with all the variant covers and so on. But also, what I'm finding is that more and more people at cons like the complete story. They don't necessarily want to buy the floppies because they don't know when they're going to see you again.
Right.
So we want so I want to get that the graphic novel as quickly as possible. So I'm going to do both simultaneously, and that'll give me a chance to do I don't want to say a better job, but do some things differently with the graphic novel for that we didn't do for the Johnny Dollar graphic novel. So there are some things that I want to play around with.
Oh, cool.
That now that we've put one together, I want to be able to, or I guess graphic novel is not the right thing to call it. Trade, I guess, is more accurate.
Referencing
right. So some lessons learned from the trade publication for Johnny Dollar. We're going to do that with the with the trade publication for the Press Guardian. So I'm looking forward to doing that and getting the trade publication out there for everybody who wants it.
Okay, that's.
And what's next for you?
Let's see here. I am working on a short story that'll probably get rejected for Raconteur Press's Mercs and Mayhem anthology. And then there's another one I'm going to do for that. And then I started God help me. I got into a conversation on the Twixer about someone was like, what would you, like it was talking about Star Wars and like, what would you realistically do to fix Star Wars, right? And so that got me thinking about it. And I was like, oh, wait, like that's actually like, I think that's a halfway decent idea. So I've outlined plot point outlined like a new Star Wars novel that's not Star Wars, that just filing the serial numbers off and changing it so that George Lucas doesn't sue me. And then I'll go back and change it again later to make it more so I'm just tinkering around on projects, except for the last 2 days where I have taken a little holiday, so I didn't do any work this weekend. I did work on Friday.
Can we tell everybody why you were taking a holiday?
Yes, we can. It was my birthday this weekend, and is still observed my birthday because my mother-in-law didn't get a chance to celebrate with us, so I'm getting Alito's pizza and ice cream cake today. Yes, the breakfast and lunch of champion.
Happy, amazing birthday, big brother. Yeah, it sounded like an incredible weekend. Michael invited me to join you all. Michael is Ben's twin and my brother. And I didn't know Joe and Sarah were going to be up there when he invited me. So I felt like crap for not being there. But you know how hard it is to get a hotel on Labor Day weekend at Ocean City?
Yes, we do.
You know how hard it is to get a hotel when you're trying to pay with points?
And just a correction here, in case anyone heard that, Alan called me Big Brother. That is incorrect. I am younger than him. I don't care how worn
You're
out.
The little brother.
I am the little brother. I don't care how worn out I look or how much gray I have or how handsome he is. He is the older brother. And since it's officially September, guess who else has a birthday this month? So if you want to make Alan's birthday special, make sure you back the Green Archer Kickstarter.
You know, it's funny. Chris was asking me why I ended the Kickstarter like the week before my birthday, because then I could have used the "Hey, it's my birthday, back us" guilt trip for everybody, and because I didn't even think about that. I'm so fixated on 21-day Kickstarters that it didn't even occur to me. Oh yeah, I should probably extend this one to 27 days so I can cover my birthday. But that's fine.
So I didn't look at the time frame on this, so I might be in a little trouble at the end of the month because I have what I call thank you, MC. I assume you're talking to both of us. Thank you. But so I have what I call happy credit card statement turnover day to all who celebrate, which is my credit card statement cycle, so I can make an ill-advised purchase. And I was like, surely surely Alan is making this a 30-day Kickstarter. Like, maybe it won't hit, will it hit October 1st, or because I backed Phenomenova and it hit today on the credit card. So this morning I went and I indulged in a new tabletop role-playing game that was very expensive. And I was like, that's all right. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And I was like, oh no, Alan's Kickstarter is this month. Oh no. No, but always happy to support you. Even projects that I don't have any part in. I love seeing you make comics. It is one of my favorite things. I am so happy you started doing this, and not just because through the power of nepotism I can get published, but also because you really love this. And I've seen a whole new side of you the past 3 years. Or I knew you were a big dork, but I didn't know you were this big of a dork, like specifically about comic books. Like, good on you. Let's go.
I mean, when you talk about a whole new side of me, we have an Instagram account now. We're doing live streams, like
Yeah, I know.
things so it's not just the comic side. Like, if it was just getting and sitting in a corner writing, that would be amazing enough. But having to do all of this,
yeah, that's one of the things. Like, I follow a lot of indie authors on social media, and that's what they talk about. Is they're like, like, hey, yeah, no, I write, edit, format, publish, market, engage with fans. I do, like, I have to do, you do everything when you're an indie, right? Like, you can hire some of it out. Like, we have professional editors that look at our stuff. It's not just me, sipping coffee in the middle of the night and like going through the scripts. So, but it all comes down to like the work you put in. So, and
yeah, and you have to do all of that. Like, I wish I didn't have to do that, but like I really didn't want to do a live stream this morning, but it's been successful. We are 30% of the way there.
All right.
Or almost 30% of the way there. And we're not ending on 13. Now we're 30% of the way there. And we're not ending on backer number 13. So that's even better. But I mean, this is, it's less than an hour and we're already 30% of the way there. I know most campaigns would love this kind of start. So that's absolutely amazing. We're definitely going to hit our main goal probably in the next couple days, and hopefully we'll hit a couple of our stretch goals. Don't know that we're going to hit the 4.8 million. We'd probably need to be at about 50,000 backers by now to be close to 4.8 million. But
yeah. I mean, what were all the stretch goals? I just like scrolled down to the biggest backer level and hit back. So I didn't even read the fine print. Do I owe you like a firstborn or something like that now?
All right. So our stretch goals are if we hit $4,000, we will the YouTube channel Dark Corners, which is one of my favorite YouTube channels. They do a lot with horror movies and they do some really great reviews. Like every Sunday night, they do just a terrible, crappy movie review. They are putting together a custom video for us on the 1940 Green Archer serial. So that is our first stretch goal. Now that's already paid for and done. So if we don't hit $4,000, you and I will be watching that and no one else. We'll let Angeli watch it as well.
Yeah. Unlisted video link.
Right, exactly. Second stretch goal is the Sarah Meyer like wraparound plus connecting cover. We're going to turn that into a print and give that to anybody who ordered physical copies. Plus, Sean Martinborough that did the one cover, he actually did a second print for us, and that'll be sent out to everybody who has physical copies. And then, and I'm going to have to stand up again, so you're going to find out that I'm wearing shorts, not Green Archer pants.
Okay.
But I do need to show this to everybody who's watching. So
okay. If it makes you feel any better, I am also wearing like workout shorts. For the live stream, our sartorial discussion is very deep and interesting. I know, like hoodies and workout shorts. We are fashionistas.
So the third stretch goal, this is for backers at the connecting covers level and higher, only because of I already have to use the big box to ship those. But it's the ballistas.
Oh yes.
Um, so the one of the stories that we're doing involves a ballista, which is basically a very, very large crossbow. Um, and
I see you,
and
MC.
so we had made like custom ballistas, like literally poke your eye out ballistas, because you put a toothpick in there and shoot it out. There is no safety mechanism in here. This is the kind of toy that your mother would never let you have when you were younger, but now you can have one. So we've had about 30 of these 3D printed, because I figured that's what we'll get at. See, there you go. People are excited for the ballistas because we just had another backer. And so we've had about 30 of these 3D printed, and obviously we can print more if we need it. But we are super, super excited for we are super excited for the ballistas. And MC, shame on you. I know my legs are great, but
So there is a secret stretch goal that you don't know about, which is if we get to the ballista level and we get beyond the ballista level, you are encouraged to find us at cons with your ballista and shoot toothpicks at us.
yes, 100%.
Only us.
Well,
We do not authorize them for use for any other action, just against the Green Archer Comics team, and
right.
and not Chris.
Right, not Chris. Definitely not
Not-
Chris. So I want to do this, and I don't know if I'm going to get authorization from our CFO, who is also Chris, for Ocean City Comic Con, because Ocean City Comic Con, we'd love Ocean City Comic Con, one, because Chris loves the beach, and even in December, being able to walk out on the balcony and see the beach, and I love it because the hotel rooms, even through points, are super cheap. But what I want to do is, instead of getting a table in Artist Alley, I want to get a 10 by 10 exhibitor table, and I want to set up an archery range with a couple of the Nerf bow and arrows, and basically have different discounts on them with like a big banner that says, "Are you the next Green Archer?" And set that up so that people who shoot at it, like if you get a bullseye, you get $5 off a comic. If you otherwise it's like 10%, like 20% off, 10% off, 5% off, that kind of thing. I don't know how much that will actually encourage people to buy the comics, as much as they just may want to shoot the bow and arrow. But so it's one of those things that like would probably bring a lot of attention to our exhibitor booth. Would it bring enough that people would actually buy the comics is the question. Like, okay, I shot their bow and arrow, now I feel obligated to buy the comic. I don't know from a marketing perspective if that works.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's a good attention getter, and people love that stuff. So, but like, would it encourage them to buy the comics? I mean, I guess there's only one actual way to find out.
Right. Well, and so if we were to doing it at Ocean City Comic Con would be fine, because the exhibitor tables are actually relatively affordable compared to anywhere else that we exhibit. And so we could set it up there, and if it works there, then maybe we look at other places, because we had a really, really good Ocean City Comic Con last time. And so it'd be great if we could step that up, which surprised the heck out of me, because I didn't know that Ocean City was going to be so big. But Christmas presents, and people just, there's nothing else to do the couple weeks before this Christmas, and so I think a lot of people just came out because they wanted something to do.
Yeah, I think that sounds like it would be a lot of fun, actually.
Cool. All right, I have kept you long enough. Thank you together this morning, and thank you to everybody who tuned in to this live stream. It's the first time we've done a live stream to kick off a Kickstarter. So appreciate everybody who joined us this morning or afternoon, depending on where you are. Super appreciated. Ben, any final thoughts?
Just that it was a lot of fun doing this project with you and all the other, talented artists and writers that we've got on board. And I just, I really excited to see it happen. And, just, grateful. I'm just glad to be here. I'm just glad to be participating and having fun and doing this. And I hope we knock it out of the park.
I do too. I mean, again, we're off to an amazing start. I couldn't ask for a better. Realistically, I couldn't ask for a better start. We had 66 people click the notified me to launch campaign,
Yep.
which is more than we've ever had before. So I really appreciate that. I've been trying not to be too obnoxious in the emails this morning. It's always hard because I know I hate it when a creator that even one that I like sends out emails on all their previous campaigns at the same time, and they're all the same email. So I've tried to make each email a little different with something fun and unique. Plus, sending everything out to the mailing list. So we're again, we're doing really well, and I'm excited for the start, and I am excited to get this into everybody's hands. This has been a real labor of love for, I think, all of us. Well, obviously a labor of love since we're not making any money yet. But
it's especially a labor of love for our letterer, who is still working on it and should be working on it right now. No,
yeah, Dan, get on that, man. No, Dan's been doing an amazing job.
Considering you gave him COVID and knocked him out.
Yeah, it's 3 different styles of writing. It's 3 different script styles and everything else, and trying to synthesize that into one story, plus all of the extras that we're going to add into the into the back of the comic and the front of the comic. So we'll get on that. All right. Day weekend.
Okay, your internet choked for a second.
Oh yeah. I was going to say, go enjoy the rest of your birthday weekend. I will also get ice cream cake and Litos to celebrate in kind with you. Just don't tell Chris.
Obviously not. I heard nothing.
Right, exactly. At 24 backers or 21 backers, we are almost 50% of the way there in the first hour. So that again, that's an amazing start to this campaign. We will hit that $4.8 million, and Green Archer will live in a castle. So,
all right.
All right, brother. Have a wonderful rest of your birthday weekend, and I am sure I will text you about 100 times today. So.
Yep, and I'll be keeping an eye on it. So everyone who's watching the stream and hasn't backed yet, I'm watching you. I'm monitoring the situation. All right.
Thank you all for tuning in to us. We appreciate all of your time, and the fact that you wanted to spend an hour with us this morning, or almost an hour with us, is insane. But we really appreciate it. Ben and I may be doing watch-alongs for the Green Archer 1940 serial. We're going to try and see what our schedule looks like. We really love doing those for Buck Rogers, and so I think it'd be really cool to do one for the Green Archer serial. Though we could do one for the 1925 serial now that we have the lost footage. Because we only have 13 minutes of that, so we could do the watch along for that. That might be really fun, since we can't legally use a lot of the footage for the documentary. We can use some of it, but not a lot of it. So maybe we do a watch along for that. Anybody want to see a silent movie from 100 years ago that was considered mostly, but is mostly lost at this point? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
All right.
Take
care, everybody. Thank you all for backing the campaign, and look forward to many more successful ones.
Yep. Take care.